My guest today is Mark Patrick. How are you, Mark Patrick? You are going to be here in Southwest Michigan here coming up on Monday, right?
Yeah, I'm awesome. Happy New Year to everybody.
Now, let's talk a little bit about. We've been hearing about this seminar that's coming up to help people not only stop smoking, but also ways to help them lose weight. Tell me first a little bit about yourself and why you do these seminars.
If you would have told me 30 years ago I'd be doing this for a living and helping people, it really came down to my life as a teenager was I had a lot of struggles. And I learned about self-hypnosis and self-improvement, and I was able to really get a hold of my kind of identity and got myself out of some really bad situations. And then from there, I learned that I started talking to people. They wanted to hear more about it and ended up pretty much kind of falling into this backwards. And we've been doing it now for well over 30 plus years at this point. So I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed that people, even after 30 years, still show up for what we do.
Yeah, it's really great that you've been able to help so many people all around the United States, being able to help them with those things, with losing weight and stop smoking. Those are two big things that a lot of people will struggle with. So, tell me first, how does this seminar work? What happens during this seminar that is able to help people?
Well, first of all, most people's perception of hypnosis is kind of stage hypnosis. We have this image in our brain. People are going to be passed out, barking, clucking, losing control. We go into hypnosis all the time. So what we're able to do is teach people how to get into a very relaxed state of brain activity. It's called an alpha state. And during that state, I want you to imagine between our conscious and our subconscious, we have a filter, and that filter is the analytical part of the brain. That's the part of the brain that controls your self-talk. And it goes out there and tells you, well, last time you went on a diet, you failed. You didn't were successful. Don't do it again, because if you're going to fail again, you're going to have pain. And so basically, that part of our brain is protecting us from achieving our goals. And what we're able to do is get that part of the brain out of the mix, communicate to the subconscious part of our brain. That's the part of the brain that taps into your autonomic nervous system. You create new neural pathways, you interrupt old neural pathways, and there's a process called synaptic pruning, which is basically your brain kind of like trimming the old dead leaves off a tree. In the springtime, people do that, and your brain actually creates new neural pathways, and those lead to what you and I call impulses, which leads to habits.
Now, we've certainly heard many people have great results with being part of your seminars. What if somebody's a little still hesitant and said, "Well, I've tried this to stop smoking, or I've tried this to try and lose weight. Is this really going to work for me?" And what do you say to them?
I tell everybody this, there's three ways to change your behavior. Every person who walks in our door doesn't need us. They have the power within them to do this. The challenge is they've been beat down through so many failures they have this narrative that they've told themselves. And when you tell yourself, give an example, I have no time to exercise. There's 24 hours in a day. Logically, we know that. But what happens when you tell yourself this, you create a limiting belief. Sometimes they're implicit limiting beliefs, which means they're below your surface level. You're not even aware you're doing them. Your brain, the reticular activation system in your brain, it'll go out there out of the 2 million pieces of information you and I are exposed to every day, block out everything except for the evidence that backs up that belief. And this happens without us realizing. Next thing you know, you get to the end of the day, you're like, man, I wanted to exercise today, but I never got around to it. You beat yourself up and you go into that vicious loop, negative loop that we go into. So if you're skeptical, it's okay. Analytical personalities, teachers, engineers, people who are in law enforcement, they're trained to analyze situations from a bird eye view, which is a technique I teach my clients also. But it's okay to be skeptical as long as you want to live a healthier lifestyle. You're able to follow a few basic instructions, relax to the best of your ability, be open to some of the things we talk about here. And if it makes sense at the right time in your life where you're sick and tired of all the pain, of all the other stuff there, maybe we can create some new habits together here and new neural pathways together.
Yeah, and it's $49.99, and you sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. It's happening at the Hilton Garden Inn. There's a session for weight loss. There's also a
Mhm.
section for stop smoking. Can they attend both of those if they wanted to, if both of those
They,
are problems
they,
for them?
we do get a lot of people that ask that question all the time. You can attend both of those if you want to. Would I recommend it? It just really comes down to the person if they want to do both of them or not. It's a long day for somebody to be in 4 hours of seminars for sure. So if you are going to attend both, make sure you do keep your blood sugar stabilized, because if your blood sugar gets low, that's one of the things you don't want to have happen, especially when you're looking to relax and stop smoking, if you're looking to stop smoking.
And what happens after that? I mean, they do this seminar. It happens on Monday. Then what is I guess a brief synopsis of what happens after that? Is there a program they go through? What sort of other steps do you do to help them afterwards?
We provide support for them, any questions they may ask. They have part of our Facebook groups. We have a whole bunch of support things to put in place for them. But the seminar is designed so that you come to the seminar and get the results you're looking to get there. Now, it kind of sounds like, well, you mean, Mark, I'm going to go out there and erase 30 years of bad behaviors in 2 hours? Listen, I'll quote Tony Robbins, the most successful self-improvement dude out there. He says, when the pain, it could take you 30 seconds to change a habit, but it takes you 20 years to get to the point where the pain of that old existing behavior is more painful than the change. And that's when the change occurs. And you could change a behavior through consciously doing it for 67 to 187 days. You can do it through a life-changing epiphany event. Heart attack is the #1 way to stop smoking in clinical studies. Hypnosis #2, aversion therapy is #3. We use both 2 and 3. Or you can use it by tapping into the subconscious, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, meditation, and hypnosis definitely works with that.
Yeah, so if you're struggling with smoking and trying to stop, or maybe trying to lose weight, and you haven't been able to have results, you may be able to do that with Mark Patrick Seminars. And that is coming up on Monday, January 16th, markpatrickseminars.com to get registered. But it's happening at the Hilton Garden Inn in Benton Harbor, right there on Cinema Way. But Mark, looking forward to having you coming to town and helping lots of people right here in Southwest Michigan.
We love doing what we're doing. We look forward to being there.